It's episode 1, The Wild Connection. What's in a name? So tonight, what we hope to do is to kind of explain to everybody how we got here, how we got to that name, why that name is important to us, and how we specifically got right here tonight. Why we're so excited and what our mission statement is, and then we're going to kind of just pile right into who we all are as individuals, as fathers and outdoorsmen and volunteers in the community, and who we are as people, and hunters and outdoorsmen, and then that kind of will play right into what we're doing and why the show is the show and has the name The Wild Connection. So
episode 1, let's get started.
Yeah.
It has been so long.
Yeah.
So long Jesse and I have been talking about this for the better part of a year, at least.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get started. You got a ton of ideas, but it's hard to get the ball rolling.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, the easiest part, equipment.
Yeah.
Because I love sourcing equipment. Yes.
Like you said the night we got together and talked about this, Joe said, I have an eBay problem.
I have an eBay problem.
A very good eBay problem.
It's a good eBay problem because we're sitting here, we're talking. Yeah.
I don't know if
So-
it's always a good problem.
But that's so we came to the name. I guess we could back up probably 4 or 5 years even, when I really started noticing something in the outdoor lifestyle. And I noticed it through an odd sort of way. So I'm obviously very active on social media, especially in outdoor hunting and fishing related pages and stuff. I've been part of various programs and projects and pages in the past. And so I've met a lot of people and I talked to a lot of people about the outdoors. And there was this reoccurring theme that I kept getting told. And it was, you're so positive. You're so positive. You're so helpful. You're so positive. And I'm thinking, that's not something that should be congratulatory, and that's not something that should be really even noticed, because we should all be acting.
It should be the
way.
norm.
That should be the
It should be the norm. Yeah.
So when I realized that, it kind of dawned on me, like I'm just acting the way that I think I should be acting, and people are really responding to it in this positive light. And I thought, wow. So then I got to thinking about the negative, the ugly side of the outdoor lifestyle that is pushed and kind of.
Can I throw out the cliche?
Yeah.
If only you'd have let it grow another year.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
But, so.
Give it another year.
So then, let's talk about the deer that I shot this year. I shot a buck this past archery season. I threw it on social media. One of the first comments I got, I was super excited with it. And there was a whole story that I posted with it why I was excited. My daughter helped me scout the area. She found the scrape. She picked the tree. She helped me hang the tree stand. And the first full sit that I did in that tree stand, I killed a buck. And it was a good deer. For me, it was a great buck, right? And I put all that story there on social media, and one of the first comments I got was, "Oh man, it's so cool! You're so excited!" Because I got a picture. I'm holding a deer head up, and I took a picture of it, like and it was. I can't imagine how excited you got that excited over a 7-point, And it's like, really? Yeah, you had to say that. You couldn't just say that's awesome. You got so excited.
And I believe you can see that picture on thewildconnection.com.
You can.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a nice little throw.
I throw that in there.
So, and everybody who's an outdoorsman and has been on social media will have stories like that. I posted a picture of my man cave, right? My den, where I have a bunch of, I guess you'd call it taxidermy, but I like to refer to it as hours of memories, days worth of memories and experiences that I have memorialized down there, because these animals, in my opinion, they deserve to be memorialized, right? I have hours of this season into this deer, and I have stories about this deer that I'll never forget, right? And so you should do whatever taxidermy you're able to do, but memorialize those animals because they are important, right? So I put that picture out there on social media of my den. I was so proud of it, right? So many memories, and multiple comments of, "Wow, that's a really nice den. Did you do the work yourself?" Or, "Well, that's a nice den. I can't imagine what it'd look like if you shot big bucks." Multiple comments like that. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Just say the construction looks nice or whatever, Like, come on. But there's so much negativity, and I think the problem is, like, social media causes us, and it's not going anywhere first. Let me back up. Social media is here to stay.
Right.
So, my brother and I have talked at length about this. He sees the negative side of social media, what it's done to society on a whole.
Right.
So he's just backed off from social media. That's fine. I understand that. But if you want to try to fix the problem,
right.
Social media is not going away. So you may as well get in there and try to push some positivity, because when you have a program, a platform that causes everybody to compare, everything becomes a comparison, right? Because it's a highlight reel, so it becomes a comparison, and in that comparison becomes competition then. And anytime that something becomes such competition, and then you have all the big companies, right? The big companies are pushing that competition too. If you buy my product, you'll shoot a buck bigger than your neighbors.
Yep.
That's the kind of ideologies that these big companies push throughout all of the outdoor lifestyle, right? So it just drives more of that competition. So what I hope to do, before I even knew we were a podcast called The Wild Connection, what I was wanting to do was push positivity into the outdoor lifestyle. Because, I could tell people, hey, stop comparing your hunt to someone else's hunt. Stop competing with somebody. The only person you should compete with is yourself. I could go out there and rail against people on social media. It's not going to make any difference.
No.
But if I could just be that positive person and push that positive mindset out there, maybe other people will start to feel that way. And then they'll start to maybe think like, oh, this is my hunt. This is my experience. I want to share it with other people. But I'm not competing with anybody. It's just my outdoor experience, and I want to share it. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do. And so then I started talking to people, and they said, well, you should do a podcast because you're so passionate about this. I'm thinking, no, I just talk a lot.
That's
Easily
90%,
confused as passion, but really it's just a lot of words. But then I ran into you at Tractor Supply parking lot, and you were like, "I'm on board, man," because you felt the same way, and you said, Jesse, my business partner, feels the same way, and you said we have the studio space, we have all the podcast equipment, let's do it.
Yeah,
so,
we're all in the same mind space. Like we're there. So why not? It's you talk about spiritual hunting. Sometimes God puts us all in the same place at the right time. Like, there's no reason I go into Tractor Supply once every 2 months to get my dog food. And I happen to run into you in the park. So it was like a little divine intervention.
I was going to say,
too.
this podcast has been divinely intervened.
Yeah. And a couple months later, and we're sitting here in front of a bunch of your props, and just.
I have to have something in my hand.
I talk with my hands a lot too, so you see a lot of that stuff flying around.
So to get to the name, I guess, the Wild Connection. So I feel so connected to my outdoor experience, whether it's hunting, whether it's fishing, whatever it is. I'm connected in multiple ways. One of the biggest ways I'm connected is through my faith. And I promise to never get preachy. I guess I'll look right at the camera for this. I had to remember where the camera was. We moved around so many times. I promise never to get preachy because I do feel really important, and my outdoor lifestyle is so much connected to my faith. But people have to get to their faith on their own, or it doesn't mean anything. And so I promise to never get preachy.
Agreed.
But I will talk about my faith because my outdoor experience is very much prayerful and very much faith driven. So. To talk, to get back to the name, The Wild Connection, I feel so connected to my faith. I feel connected to my family. My kids have been hunting with me now for 2 seasons. It's oh my gosh. It's been so awesome. Yeah. It's been
That's
great.
what it's all about.
It is.
Yeah.
And then, I was like, what did I do? Oh my gosh. But I started hunting with my uncles, my Uncle Chris, my Uncle Jim, my cousin Jamie, my grandfather. So there's that connection to family. There's connection to tradition and ancestry, and trying to remember his name. Donnie Vincent has said a couple. He's a makes a lot of outdoor videos, hunting videos, and podcasts and stuff. And the man's just brilliant, and he's got a way with words. And one of the 2 things he said that has really stuck with me was that every hunter out there, every person on earth actually has a background of hunting in their ancestry, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here.
You'd have starved to death years ago.
That's right. Your family
absolutely.
line would have been snuffed out years and years ago. So everybody on Earth now has some ancestry and some lineage and a connection to hunting and fishing in the outdoors. So there we come back to that word again, connected. Connection. To me, it's all about connection, and so.
So let's talk about our connection. how we all know each other.
Yeah, well,
so
was it 7th grade?
I would say 7th grade.
What elementary school did you go to?
I went to Luthersburg.
Okay, so it was 7th grade.
7th grade, yeah.
That far back.
So I've known Joey since 7th grade.
Yeah. And so we met at the middle school.
And we were never like, we had different friend groups.
Yeah.
So, but we were
But
close.
they overlapped.
Right.
And the fact that we all hunted, everybody from October on talked hunting when we were in school.
Right.
Yeah. It was just
Luthersburg.
Yes.
How'd you have different friend groups? There was like 10 kids in that school.
No. So I went to So we met in middle school because that's when like the elementary schools came together.
Okay.
So yeah.
You know, and the
you're
funny
right,
thing
though.
is, though, like,
It's just like, wait,
I
what?
knew you all through middle school and all through high school.
Right.
And if anybody had asked me then, you know, hey, what do you think about Joe Mitchell? What do you think about Joe? I said, oh, Joey's a great guy, you know. And you and I have talked about this, and you kind of had the same opinion.
Right.
I know Teddy. He's a great guy.
Teddy's a great guy. Yeah. Well, we never really like. I don't think our classes overlapped, and you know, I think, and that's kind of what. So another buddy of mine, Paul McCluskey.
Oh, I love Paul.
So he's the one that actually got me into the archery hunting. Well, I knew Paul since elementary school, and I know that you knew Paul some, and I think you guys overlapped a little bit more than what we did.
One of my first bow hunts was with his little brother Roger.
Oh yeah,
we hunted from the ground. Me and Roger. I'll never forget that hunt. And Bug, who got me, my friend Bug got me into bow hunting, and he learned to bow hunt with Paul.
Paul's his cousin.
Yes, Paul's his cousin. And they started bow hunting together.
Yeah.
So there's another connection.
So it's all. Yeah. So you and I have known each other for. I don't even want to tell everybody how many years that is. 7th grade.
More than 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we got to loop Jesse in here, how he became part of this.
So I guess for me, I've known Joe through the fire company now for I don't know, probably 15 years.
Yeah, you guys both
like
volunteer firefighters. Very active volunteer firefighters.
And Joe actually currently is chief.
Yes.
So
chief of the volunteers.
Yeah, he just came back into that role for his second
time. I've been the department chief for the city of DuBois.
Which department?
The entire city of DuBois.
Oh, the entire city. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
The new consolidated city.
Right.
Wow.
So this is my second tour.
Second.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were an officer.
Yeah, he was a captain.
Yeah, I was a captain for a couple years there. I worked with him a ton.
Right.
Over the years, just
I'm sure
tons of stuff going on there.
In our connection there, just we were working together, and we actually. We were running the burn containers, so we were training some of the new guys.
Newer people.
Okay.
And really, after one of the sessions over there, it ended up being Jesse and I in the parking lot, just shooting the crap like we did in Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
Apparently, all this stuff happens in a parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it just came to me. So
connected.
And we were just talking about how I think it got off because we were just talking about guns.
Yeah,
honestly,
we were talking about guns.
Joe is very familiar with guns. He builds a ton of guns before we ever started a business, and I just had some questions about things, and Joe was always approachable.
I'm like,
so he was always, you could walk up and say, hey, like I'm looking at this or doing that, and for some reason, I don't know, you just memorize everything with guns. Everything about guns, and he was offering some advice and about how to build an AR and some other stuff.
It.
No, but from where I was at originally, like I was like, hey, I want to build an AR, and Joe's like, oh, I'd recommend going here and buying this and doing that, and so that's kind of how we got started. Next thing you know, we were just talking about, boy, we'd really like to stop working for other people, right?
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, I think that's our end goal eventually is to
someday.
And even with our business, it's nice, the harder you work, the more money you get.
Right.
Which it's a wild thought,
that's
right?
one of but it's one of like the cornerstones of being self-employed and having your own business is there's that direct correlation for how much you put in and how much you can get out of it.
So I got to go down. I got to go down a rabbit hole, which we're going to go down a rabbit hole. Yeah,
Shocker.
Yeah. So fast forward. We're going to start a business.
Yeah.
We decide on this, and really we're going to be an armory. We're going to build guns, but our focus is outdoor stuff, really.
Right.
So we're going in, J&J. So it's like J&J Outdoors and J&J Machining and literally like. And the big thing for both of us is that media presence. So everything we're doing, we're looking at, can we get this.com? Can we get that.com? And like everything's just, and probably for a couple of days, we just like paused.
It was hard.
It was
Honestly, it was hard to find a name.
Yeah. You know, J and S, J and J, JS, JM. Like, and so about, I think 2020, 2021, when my cousin was working on his taxidermy shop, you know, shout out to Straub Taxidermy.
Straub Taxidermy, St. Mary's, right?
Ridgeway, yes.
Ridgeway, okay.
Ridgeway, yes.
County. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually was trying to help him with a logo design and came up with something very similar to this. And this logo, I will bring the picture, I will show the picture at some point. This logo comes from a buck my grandpa shot. So the antler was up like this, and the other antler was twisted around like this.
Really?
And I just, like, I started playing with words. I'm like, twisted antler, that's it. Yeah. I mean, and I sent it to him, and you know how things like click? Kind of like, you know, when we were talking about Wild Connection, you're like, dude, that's it.
That's it.
It's 100% it. It clicked. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we're twisted antler.
I love that.
That's where it's at.
And that's even cooler that there's an actual meaning behind it.
There's 100%.
It all stems from his grandpa.
And what's crazy is, and Jesse got the opportunity this last fall to go out west with my grandpa. Yeah. And I mean, he was a huge influence, like bird hunting and muzzleloader hunting. That's what I did with my grandpa.
Yeah.
And so to be able to memorialize him with the logo of our business.
Is he passed?
No, he's here. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's even better.
We're planning a trip for this year.
We got to bring him on the show.
Hey,
so we have some video, we have some audio of him. We did this because, and Jesse, props to him. He gave me this idea. And the reason we actually expedited getting all this equipment, we rented an RV to go to Montana last year. And Jesse's like, wouldn't it be cool if we sat around the table of the RV and got your grandpa telling stories so you could record them,
you know, play them back.
Yeah.
You know.
So we did.
What a cool idea.
The RV was noisy as heck, and hopefully I'll be able to clean up the audio at someday. But it's cool because we have his voice telling the stories. Probably an hour?
I bet. At least an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's something I'll have forever.
Yeah.
You know?
Forever.
Yeah.
And your kids can have it.
Yeah.
And So, and I mean, that's because, I mean, the thing that I think is so cool about a podcast is it's us, right? Someone who's passionate, a group of guys or girls that are passionate about the outdoors, telling stories.
Yeah, right.
Because that's such an important thing, you know. And even if you look, so I studied history in college, right? If you go back through the chronicles of history of any sort, it's storytelling. I mean, really, truly, that's what it is, and that's how we grow and evolve, even as a species, is through storytelling. It's what sets us apart from any other creature on earth, is that we can tell stories. We can memorialize things and remember things and teach lessons and that's basically what a podcast is. It's just the newer digital version of that, but it's exactly what, I mean, that's what it is. So that's really cool. I would love to incorporate that from your grandfather.
And I'd love to get him on here.
Talking.
I mean, he's a wild man. How old is he now?
I'm pretty sure that the statute of limits are up on most of the things that he could talk about now.
How old is he now? He's
84, 85.
84,
I don't remember.
I mean, we're in Colorado and he's riding an e-bike in the middle of a rainstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the guy is a wild man.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's mid-80s. Actually, he's mid-60s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He could run circles around me.
Yeah.
He's a crazy man.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be awesome to get on.
I love that. I think we should absolutely work on that. And that's something that I want everybody to think about as we continue on here. If you have a connection to a grandfather, an uncle, a brother, a mother, a sister, a daughter, whatever, a connection with an outdoor story, an outdoor experience, whether it was an animal you harvested, a trip that you took with somebody special, memorializing stories from your grandfather, anything like that you feel is important or that you had a connection with it and it's outdoor related, contact us. I don't know how we do it, but I'm sure Joe and Jessica figure it out. I'm just here to talk. But I'm sure they figured out how to put our information out there. Message us, comment, call, send smoke signals.
Well, you got the social media up, right?
Yeah,
you got
social media up, right? Message us on
yeah.
social media, and let us know what that connection is, because that's what we want to do. We have a fourth set. Well, you can't see it there. Trust me, over there. There's a fourth set of these things.
It's up here.
And we want to get people in here.
Yeah.
You know,
even if we gotta do it remote, we'll bring you in.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, trust me, I could talk for, I don't know, probably 1,000 episodes.
Right. Yeah. That's where we're at.
Motor mouth.
That's where we're going.
That's where we're going.
Yeah. I'm trying not to do everything I know in the first one, and you have thousands worth.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So. Yeah.
So I guess I'll finish just how because I briefly know you through other relationships, right?
Yeah.
So I know your brother and I know your nephew.
Right.
So, your nephew and your brother have both been in the fire department. I mean, they're your brother's a life member. He's been in
for a long time.
Forever.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, I've known of you. I've seen you at events, and I think I've talked to you a few times.
I believe, yeah.
I always knew you were a big hunter. You know, always super nice guy. I mean, I've talked to you at a couple of the banquets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've always known of you.
Same.
Just
same.
different groups in
one
life.
Of the things, when I told my brother that hey, I met with Joey and I'm doing a podcast with Twisted Antler, and he's like, oh, Joe and Jesse, and I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, Jesse's a great guy. He said, you're gonna love him.
I love your brother.
Yeah.
He's super
I said, well,
nice
he
guy.
must be like, I believe in like the yin and yang, like every coin has two sides, right? And we know Joe.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So then if you guys are the same coin, I'm like, well, then Jesse must be like the level-headed good guy,
Yeah.
he stays off eBay. He stays off eBay.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I'm Joe's anchor, right? I keep him, from floating away.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I need an anchor.
Yeah, no. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
He doesn't have enough anchor.
No, he doesn't.
No.
So
No, but that's kind of how I know you guys. I don't know if we want to go into any further detail on that.
Well, I don't think we need to. I think it's one of the things that makes this so cool is that as we're growing this connection here, right, we're going to be growing the podcast as well. It's really cool. Yeah, Joe and I have known each other for a long time. Yeah. But, I mean, here we are. We have an outdoor hunting and fishing based podcast, and Joe and I have never hunted or fished together.
I was just going to say that.
You and I have never hunted and fished together.
Yeah.
So like because we already have plans, right? Like we're working on plans. We're going to do a show on Western hunting here in the near future because Joe and I have done quite a bit of Western hunting, and Jesse has too. But we've got different plans and procedures that we put in place to like do our Western hunts,
Right.
And we want to talk about that because Jesse had brought up a great point, and which to the point of what I was saying, us learning this connection between the three of us, I think is going to be really interesting because I found out, Jesse wants to do more Western hunting, but he's finding there's a barrier of entry,
right.
Which you and I have already kind of gotten through. So that makes a great show.
Yeah.
I have a barrier of entry when it comes to information on firefighting and community volunteer and community involvement. Not that I'm not a volunteer and don't I'm not involved in the community because I am. But when you talk about volunteer fire departments, I mean, you guys are like the cornerstone of local heroes and people who are just like the backbone of how important community involvement and volunteerism is, So obviously a lot more about that than I do. So I think that just the fact that we're going to learn these connections that we don't necessarily already all share, the three of us, it makes for a really interesting show.
Yeah, and like you said, it's awesome that all three of us have a entirely different outlook on what hunting is.
Yeah.
And how we do it.
And how we do it.
I mean, he hunts with his grandpa and dad in PA. Like that's, I don't know how they do things. I only know how my family did them.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to hear that. I think I'm going to learn a lot just from hearing you guys' stories and how you do it.
What I want to do ultimately is learn, my grandfather would teach me how to deer hunt really, but all he really taught me was, firearm safety. And, we get up early, we get out there. He had some rules, like you don't ever sit down. We would stand up all day. It was funny because we'd all sit down and take naps. But, we all said, you don't ever sit down. My grandpa Chet would say, you don't ever sit down. That's when the big one comes by. And then 5 minutes later, you'd hear him snoring as he's sitting there in the corner.
Didn't see a thing all day.
He meant you don't sit down. That's why he brought you.
Yeah. You're the eyes and the ears.
But like learning about hunting and bow hunting and how to find bedding areas and read the wind and play the wind and what types of how you hunt different animals in different parts of their season, right? There's just so much to it that really I taught myself. And so like I tell people, and we'll get more into this later in different shows, but like when I bow hunt, I blast right into bedding areas, and I know guys would be like, "Oh no! You don't ever go to the bedding area." I do all the time. It's just because I learned it as a young man. If you want to see deer, you get where they're bedding. Yeah. You know, I find rub lines and scrapes on the edge, or maybe even into the bedding, and I just get in there stupid early. You know, I was in the Marine Corps, so I'm like all about getting up early. Get up early, and I'll get in the woods an hour before daylight. No headlamp. I go in quiet and dark and get in there. They don't know it's a human walking around. They probably think it's another deer. You know, I can't tell how many times I've walked up to a scrape, to my tree stand in a bedding area, climbed up in there in the dark, and not 30 seconds later, I mean, I'm literally still hoisting my bow up, and you hear bucks at that scrape because they don't know you're a human.
Yeah, right.
They hear something rummaging around at their scrape. They think it's another buck, you know. Yeah. But I taught myself, right, a lot of stuff, and I'm sure you did too, and I'm sure you did too. Yeah. But when you get in that mindset of, you know, I know nothing. I'm coming into this with nothing, and that's how I came into bow hunting. I didn't know anything, and I'm an avid bow hunter. Right? I mean, I hunt a lot of different stuff, but I'm right now trying to learn and become a more proficient waterfowl hunter. I know enough that I can kill geese in a field. But if you're like, oh, Teddy, how do I kill ducks? I'd say, please tell me, because I don't know. Yeah. You know, I'm the world's worst duck hunter who loves doing it. You know,
well, that's the beauty of it, though, right?
Yeah.
It's what you like to do. You don't have to be good at it.
Right. Yeah? Absolutely.
Golfers prove that every day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you were good at, I think if I was great at it, right, it wouldn't interest me as much. I think that is the point you were making. So, no, I think it's exciting that we're going to kind of learn these connections amongst each other even more as we continue on. So, I guess this part we'll just jump right into like who we are as people. I mean, we've already touched on a lot of that, but so I'm 43 years old. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I did 8 years in the Marine Corps Reserve. A combat engineer, heavy equipment operator, combat engineer, and I was a small arms instructor. So like when you talk about like Joe knows ARs and knows a lot about shooting, well, you know, when I was in the Marine Corps for a long time, 5th award expert, I did a lot of range coaching, which sounds a lot cooler than what it is, you know, but you run the range and you can be like the range safety officer or the PMI, primary marksmanship instructor. And I did all those duties, but more often than not, you're on the line, making sure the shooters are staying safe, the Marines are staying safe.
Trying to get the city boys to not shoot themselves in the foot.
Right. Gotcha. And well, what you're doing is you're trying to take some of the most proficient, trying to think of a good word without swearing. Bad sons of guns, right? I mean, these are Marines. They've already been through boot camp. Some of them have already deployed, you know, but they have to every year do their yearly qualification on a rifle range, and I help them do that, you know. And so, you know, I helped them brush up on things like, oh, hey, you know, you're chasing around the target. If you're shooting around the bullseye of the target, you're not focusing on your sight, you're focusing on a target. And so now you're going to chase the bull. You know, it's just these tips and tricks that we learned. So when you talk about Joe knowing ARs, and I'm like, yeah, I do too.
So,
this is fun.
So I want to know something because, you know, when Jesse can attest to like the fire training, a lot of times there's the book method and then how things actually work in the real life. Yeah. Is the Marine Corps training a lot that way, or is it are they in tune to the operation more? Is the book in tune to the operation, or, you know, do you have to skirt between the two?
No, I'm going to say they're pretty well in tune. Yeah, I think it's pretty well in tune to actually what's real. I do think so. I mean, of course, like anything, and I only knew my certain job, so it might be different in infantry. Right. They might have their way at SOI, School of Infantry, teaching you that, well, this is how you do it. And then we all know in real life, no. Yeah. When the bullets start flying, it's totally different, right? I don't know that. But I have to assume that the Marine Corps does a really good job of training the way we fight, you know, they really do. And I think it's because, it matters. I mean, it's truly, you can get in life and death situations, you know? So I think the training really is pretty much on point. Yeah. So now again, I've been out for a long time.
Couple of years. We can go.
Couple years.
Yeah. Couple years.
Yeah.
I like that.
Couple years. Yeah. So Marine Corps veteran,
did you go to the Marines right out of high school?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then you came back and went to college?
Yeah. So in August, I was actually in boot camp when 9/11 happened. Yeah. I spent most of my time in North Carolina. I went overseas a few times. In that period of 8 years, I went to college. I actually didn't graduate college because I ran to a point where I was going to have to take out loans. And I was like, I don't think I want to go in debt for this career. Right. I was in school for education, for history education. I love history. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just don't know if I love education. I don't think I want to be an educator. And I got to the point where I was like, I really don't think I want to go in debt for something like that. I'm not sure I want to do. Yeah. So I talked to my dad, and he was like, he owned a garage door company, and he's like, get out now before you go in debt. Come back home, work for me. And, I'm not saying you got to do the family business, but you can make money while you think about what you want to do with the rest of your life. And so I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm getting involved in the family business, right?
Right. Yeah.
No way I'm staying in Du Bois, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
And then there I am. I fell in love with business. I fell in love with sales, really. Like being in sales is something I really fell in love with. So, and that's still to this day what I do. So that's it. I sell garage doors for a living now. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. If someone were to ask me, what defines you as a person, right? To me, if they were to ask me that, I would say, well, my marriage to Joan. Because through my marriage to Joan, I have, my best friend. Guys always talk like when they're married. It's like this macho talk of not wanting to admit your wife is your best friend, or, and it just seems so odd to me. Like, why would you want to be married to someone who you don't want to spend time with, right? Like, because people start to get all snippy about their spouses, and they kind of start talking crap, and I'm always like, I can't. I don't have anything bad to say, I've been really blessed. Yeah. But through my marriage to Joan, she's in education. She's a wonderful educator, and we have our 2 children, Abby and Jack. So, being a father is first and foremost for me. And through my marriage, of course, was fatherhood for me. So Abigail's, she'll kill me because she hates being called Abigail. So I just got myself in trouble. So we're going to do it again.
Maybe she won't watch.
Yeah. No, I'm a maker. Yeah. So, Abigail is 13 and Jack's 9. So, and so this year they started hunting with me for the first time, and we're going to do a whole episode about that. But this is Jack's first shed antler, 9 years old. That is a hell of a 3-point side. Yeah. And this is Abigail's first shed antler.
Not to be outdone.
They found both of those this year. Yeah. So that was awesome. That was a great experience. And Jack shot his first deer this year, so that was cool. Yeah. So my kids being in the outdoors with me has been a really big part of my life lately, and my faith. Getting back to things that really define who I am. I'm a very prayerful person. I'm a very faithful person. I haven't always been. My faith has been. It's a journey, like anything. Yeah. It's up and down, but it's currently up and going up, right?
Yeah.
And through that, a lot of that has been my connection to my kids and my connection to my faith when I'm in the outdoors, because. The more wild I get, the more backcountry I get, the more I see Mother Nature, and I can't look at Mother Nature and not see the face of God. Like, to me, they are inexplicably connected. Like, they're one and the same. So, I see a shed antler. I don't like to shed hunt because everyone always says, I love to shed hunt, but I don't like it for the reasons a lot of people do. A lot of people like shed hunt because they say it's an invaluable scouting tool. Well, I'll walk hundreds of miles in a season. I love it. I just love scouting, or I love finding shed antlers, but it's not for scouting, right? It's just because this is like Mother Nature's artwork, and I look at this like this was literally made by God. Like, that's the way I feel about it, right? It's just the coolest thing. I would have antlers decorating my entire house if my wife would let me. But I pretty much do, because she lets me do whatever I want.
Well, and it's nice. And it's nice sometimes, too, because you get the antler and you really didn't have to kill the deer.
You didn't have to kill the deer.
You know what I mean? It's going to be bigger next year.
Yes.
That's...
Yeah. So, but there's a whole nother thing. Like, you talk about hunting, and people are like, well, how can you hunt? You have to kill a deer. Well, I don't enjoy killing deer.
Right.
But then you're like, but I do. I enjoy outsmarting them, and I enjoy eating their meat, and I enjoy, memorializing their antlers on the wall, and I enjoy all that. My son put it best, and I think that's what's so wonderful about getting kids involved in whatever it is you're doing. They just have a way with words. So my son's 9. He shoots his first deer, and she runs off, and he says, and I don't want to get too much into it because I'd actually like to get him in here at some point and interview him, but he says, Dad, I feel bad. And I said, well, we're all excited and like breathing in and stuff. And I said, walk me through that. Like, how are you feeling? And why do you say you feel bad? He goes, well, because I'm really excited. Yeah. And I'm really excited because I just killed a deer. Like, I feel bad about it. Like, I shouldn't be excited. I said, buddy, I'm proud of you. That shows you have empathy. You're empathetic. You don't want to be excited about the kill. Right. But you want to be excited about the harvest. Yeah. But in order to get the harvest, you have to get the kill. So it's a really tough, it's like this duality thing. And for a 9-year-old to kind of put that in words that everybody could understand, I was like, wow, man, I'm really proud of you for that. So
makes you feel good because he's mature enough to hunt.
Yes.
You some things that I don't necessarily agree with is 5 and 6-year-olds out there, and they got the bow or crossbow clamped in a thing, or the gun clamped in the thing. Yeah. And when they pull that trigger, they don't realize what they're doing.
They don't know the implications.
My son did not start hunting until he was 10 for that exact reason. Yeah. I mean, he would go along, we'd hang out, but I felt like he had to know the difference between killing something and just shooting something, and
a kill and a harvest.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're different. Yeah. I mean, they're one and the same. It's again, we were talking earlier. It's two sides of the same coin.
Oh yeah.
But so to your point, I was like relieved and excited because I thought, he's old enough. Yeah. Because you worry about that. Yeah. So that's me. I mean, in a nutshell, I'm a husband. I am a father. I'm an avid outdoorsman. I love. Bow hunting whitetails in Pennsylvania is one thing that I absolutely love. I love fly fishing. Like, I fly fish for any fish, but I love fly fishing for trout, and I love fly fishing for wild trout. Like, specifically in Pennsylvania, it's hard to find wild browns or brook trout, but it's pretty easy to find native brook or wild browns and rainbows. But it's pretty easy to find native brook trout. But, I was just out west, and we caught a bunch of wild rainbows and a bunch of wild browns. It was just amazing. But I just love getting into like far out places and fly fishing for whatever I can catch. That's definitely a passion of mine. Bow hunting whitetail, fly fishing, anything and everything. Waterfowl hunting, like I said earlier, I love it. I'm awful at it, but I absolutely I am. I go to Southeast Missouri. I would say every year, but it's not true. But I'd like to go every year. And and you go there, and it's like, you can't not kill a duck, right? Because there's just so many of them that are. Waterfowl hunting around here is tough. I mean, we're not in a flyway, so we don't have a lot of ducks here. But so it is tough to duck out here. And not knowing what the hell you're doing makes it even harder. So I'm really, it's pretty tough for me here. Yeah. But like I travel and I kill some ducks and geese, and we really enjoy. Eating duck, like getting some duck breast and throwing them in a pan, searing them.
Yeah.
On the side of a trout stream, and then like throw a little bit of maple syrup in there and let that kind of burn and caramelize onto the duck meat. If that sounds like really oddly specific, it is.
It is.
But that is like maybe my most favorite wild game dish I've ever cooked. Yeah. So now when I go to trout camp every year, I always try and take some duck with me. Yeah. And a little camp stove, and I'll sear right on the side of the trout stream. It's just fantastic. I love doing it. So
that's crazy.
That's who I am as an outdoorsman, and of course I love going out west. We talked about that. But we're gonna have a whole episode about that eventually. So.
No doubt.
Who wants next? I need a break.
I'll go next.
Yeah, there you go. Round the circle.
Yeah.
So I'm Jesse. 37. Born and raised local here to DuBois. I got a really big background in. I like to bow hunt. Turkey hunt's my big thing. I've done that since I was 12 years old. I work in the IT field, in healthcare. So I'm a little bit of a nerd. I have a little bit of a nerd side.
Here?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I have some nerd tendencies, but
well, thank God, because Joe bought all this equipment.
Well,
and he probably has no idea how to use it.
He might be slightly nerdier than I am. So
really?
he has some tendencies on him there that.
My problem is I don't like to not know something.
Yeah.
That's my issue. Nuts. It drives me nuts. I will learn. I will watch YouTube videos or read or whatever until I figure anything out. I hate to rely on anybody for anything.
We're going to make a great team because I find excitement in the unknown. Like, I don't want to know. Like, dump me in a place knowing nothing, like blind and stupid, and I'm like, hey, I'm happy. It's probably because I'm used to feeling that way.
Well, nowadays AI helps with everything.
That Teddy doesn't know what he's doing. There's a shocker.
Well, AI helps with everything.
Slightly worried about letting him.
AI helped us with the name.
Helps. Bingo.
I mean,
yeah.
That's why I told Joan. I said, babe, I cannot come up with a name. I've been racking my brain for a name of the podcast for literally weeks. Because I travel a lot for work and sales, and so that's just what I do. Like I'm thinking. I come up with nothing. So I said, I know that you use ChatGPT to help her. In writing a lot of things.
Don't give away all the secrets.
Yeah. Well, no, but I said, babe, you got. I don't use it, but you got to help me out here. Like, here's what I want to do, and she plugged in, and then she comes back with this list of all these, and I'm like, I like that one.
Yeah.
The Wild Connection. So we are AI.
Yeah.
So anyway,
like it.
Good point. That's how we came up with the name. If you didn't know, that's how we came up with the name.
I think everybody's going that route nowadays. I mean,
Thank you, ChatGPT.
Yeah. Shout out. Sponsor us.
We might be the first outdoor hunting related podcast they would ever sponsor.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. You know, I don't know that they sponsor anything.
I don't think they need to.
Yeah,
they control the world now.
Yeah. They
don't attack us, AI.
Maybe by at least saying them, they'll,
we'll be the last to go when it's...
the algorithm gets boosted up enough that more than 2 people watch this.
I like that. Well, we know Abigail's one because I'm a maker.
Right, yeah.
So we know we have 1 viewer.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, I probably will too.
I'll probably have to edit it, so I probably won't want to watch it. I'll have to watch this 27 times again.
My mom will watch it.
Oh, yeah.
So we got 3 viewers.
Yeah.
Well, 4 if you're watching.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
So we got 4 viewers.
And even if you don't like it,
are you going to be the 5th viewer?
Yeah. Drop a line.
Drop a like.
Even if you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Give us something.
Any kind of a reaction, please. Yeah.
So I guess a little bit more about me is I do have a niece and nephew that are slowly getting into hunting a little bit more.
What's her age?
So one is 15 and the other one would be... actually, let me take that back. One's 16 and one's 15.
Yeah, great.
So
great age to get involved.
They both want to be involved.
Yeah.
They really like going, but they're not at the point where they want to take something's life.
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law, he's like you. I mean, he lives in the outdoors.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe knows him.
We'll have him on sometime.
I love it.
I mean, he's pulled me back into hunting more now than I think I was slowly getting out of it just because, my family dynamic we used to get together for hunting and stuff like that. And then as time progressed, people quit hunting and people got older, people quit it, and then we just stopped getting together. Oh. So it became more and more of just, I would go out on the first day by myself and it lost what it was.
It lost that connection.
You know what I mean?
And
so
you had a connection to your family in the outdoors, and so when that
it kind of, you know what I mean? So the spark went away.
Yep.
And then my sister got married to him. He came, and we started hunting together. I mean, every first day now we go together. I mean,
that.
we've literally missed one day, and that was due to he was actually donating part of his liver to somebody that was in need.
Wow.
Yeah. So he actually did that the day before rifle season.
Wow.
So I actually hunted a little bit in the morning, and then I went down to Pittsburgh to see him.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, well,
I didn't want to be there.
You're right.
I've never missed the first morning, so I was there for about an hour.
Yeah.
I watched the sun come up, and then I
went down to see him
because I had, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So with him coming back into it, he's a really good mentor. He takes my niece and nephew out all the time. He doesn't push it. It's just I think they would like to harvest an animal, but they understand what it means to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They understand that once you pull the trigger, you can't take it back.
You can't take that bullet back or that arrow back.
And that's in everything in life, right?
Absolutely.
Like, guns are, guns are different, so they respect them.
Mm-hmm.
And they like to go out and they like to watch animals.
Well, then,
and
I think you're doing a great job not pushing them to pull that trigger. Let them come to it. Just like I said, with faith, you got to come to it on your own. I think when you're talking about these really big kind of black and white issues, you got to let people come to it on their own when they're ready.
Yeah. Yep. And I think my nephew is finally of the point, like he wants to go squirrel hunting this year.
Yeah.
I haven't went squirrel hunting since I was 14.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go squirrel hunting. I guess
love that. I love that.
And it's just
we got to build him a gun.
Yeah,
I built a squirrel gun. Yeah, I should bring it in.
Yeah,
it's an awesome.
He wants to take a 22.
Yeah,
well, that's what I built.
Too. Yeah, that's it. He's real big on it this year, so I don't.
I've been looking at building 22s. Like on the 1022 type style action. Some twisted antler, and we've been working on a couple suppressor designs for those. Oh, there's nothing more fun. Have you ever shot a suppressed 22? I'm going down a rabbit hole.
Yes, I have actually. Yeah,
so much fun. Huh?
Oh, it's great.
Crazy. I mean, the first time we did this, and you're hearing.
Now I want to suppress my squirrel gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're hearing the bullet hit the pop can you're shooting at, not the crack of the rifle. And I'm like, that's awesome.
So I took a Savage A22, and we put a different trigger in it, and then we put a Boyd's thumbhole stock, a beautiful Boyd stock on it. And it's a nice, heavy stainless steel barrel on it. It's a beautiful gun. And it's my Squirrel Getter 3000. It's awesome. I love that thing, dude. It's great. But now I want to suppress it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but to get kids hunting squirrels, it's like, and I don't want to say like one animal's life is less important than the other, but some animals' lives are less traumatic,
right?
Yes,
to take than others, right? And I think squirrels great, and I think that's why so many kids start squirrel hunting. So years ago, I had shot in one season. I shot a red, a gray, of course gray because they're like the easiest squirrel to get. A black squirrel, which is just a gray squirrel actually, a black faced gray squirrel, and then a fox squirrel, which I had to travel to my. I had a food plot seed company in the past, and my partner had a bunch of fox squirrel on his property. And then all I want to say is I got them all mounted together because I am a big proponent in getting kids involved in the outdoors. And so I thought that was a really neat piece to just talk to kids about, like, here's all 4 squirrels that you can see in Pennsylvania. They're all delicious. Get out there and hunt them. And I think hunting squirrels is a great way to get kids involved. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the, and also whenever you go squirrel hunting, you can talk, you can laugh, you can move, you know what I mean? And like, kids nowadays, like they don't want to sit still for 6 hours.
Hell, I don't want to sit still.
You know what I mean? 6 hours. I remember whenever I first started hunting, they would drop you off at a tree and say, "I'll see you at dark."
Yeah.
And you would sit there in a snow pile.
Yeah.
Like, it was miserable.
It was miserable.
Now you sit in a heated tree stand with your phone and you're messing around.
Yep.
It's funny how it's evolved.
But it's like everything.
Yeah.
It all evolves. Yeah.
I mean, so I guess that's kind of where my background. I mean, I do a little trout fishing, stuff like that. Nothing extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it about me.
Yeah.
I'll let Joe go.
You're up.
Joe. Yeah.
Tell us the story of Joe.
The story of Joe.
43. I'll be 44 next month.
Yeah.
The old 44 mag next month.
Oh,
yeah, buddy.
My favorite handgun. I have a 44 Magnum Ruger Super Red Hawk. Oh my god.
I just have the Red Hawk.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah. Red Hawk. So Super Red Hawk is you can put a scope. It's drilled for a scope.
I had a scope on it. I had a scope on it. I took it off.
So the difference between a Super and a regular Red Hawk is just the mounts for the scope.
Okay.
That's it. And the difference between a Red Hawk and a Black Hawk is a Black Hawk was single action, the Red Hawk's double.
Yeah.
So there's the Super Red, the Black Hawk, Super Black Hawk. Yeah, that's just random trivia.
See what I mean? Total nerd about guns.
Yeah, I just went down.
He sits there. I don't know anything about guns.
Went down the rabbit hole.
But I do love that. It's my favorite revolver.
Oh yeah.
It is my favorite to shoot. It is not my favorite to carry.
Correct. Because it weighs. A lot.
But I do almost every time we go out west. I pack the 44 mag because if I am only going to retrieve meat, I don't want to carry a big rifle.
Yeah.
I carry that in like a side holster
or
chest.
I have a Kanai chest holder.
You slide that in there. You got your pack on.
Yep.
And then if a bear decides it wants to meet more than you, at least you got 6 shots to scare something.
Actually, they say you don't have to shoot the bear. Right. And you don't even have to be faster than the bear. You really just have to shoot your partner in the leg and then be faster than him.
You only really need
I was wondering where this was going.
You only really need a 22 if you hunt as partners. Because you just whack your neighbor.
That makes me worried because I usually go hunting with Joe out west.
Yeah, and I'm always like, Jesse, why don't you walk in the front? shoot, he's never gonna walk with me again.
I was gonna say that's why I always invite my brother Andy out because he's a bigger fella, and
he's not a runner.
He's not a runner. He'd probably fight the bear. And he probably has a good chance of winning. He's the toughest guy.
Yeah, don't doubt him.
But he fight the bear. I'm gonna run away.
While you're knifing that bear, I'm gonna be running.
I'll get the truck warmed up for you.
Get the bandages out. Yeah. Get the bandages out. So my whole family hunted, but back when I was young, the number one season for my family, everybody getting together, was muzzleloader, late muzzleloader, flintlock season.
I hear that from so many people. People that late season muzzleloader hunt.
That was.
Love it. It's like such a tradition.
My uncles, my grandpa, everybody. That was the season we got together for. Yeah. So it wasn't really didn't get introduced to. I actually quit playing basketball because it interfered too much with muzzleloader season.
I love that. That's great.
You know where I'm at.
I know where you're at. Yeah.
So I didn't really get into archery season until Paul got me into archery hunting. In high school and just fell in love with that. And that's a beautiful time to be in the woods.
Oh.
And it's still, it is, I'm married to, I will say, Steel Teddy, I'm married to my best friend because nobody else would put up with what I do like she would.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's nobody. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, my wife is beautiful and she's so smart, but she's obviously crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think not only and same with Jenny, I think not only do they put up with us,
right?
I think part of them deep down and kind of likes us.
Yeah.
So what is wrong with them?
I'm worried about her, to be honest. I am. Because I obviously married way out of my league.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So
100%.
Sometimes
I knew your wife well in high school. Yeah. She's a sweetheart.
She is. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, look at. Yeah. Obviously, she had a place. We all carry God's cross in some way, right?
Yeah.
So no, and she lets me hunt.
Yeah.
And she encourages it because my entire family loves the meat.
Yeah.
Like my wife's, her instructions when I schedule a Western hunt, because she doesn't like me to go away. She doesn't even like when I go away overnight.
Yeah.
So like a Western hunt, when you're talking 12 days away, like, yeah, that's borderline on like, I don't know. But she's like, you better bring something back.
Yeah. You better bring that meat.
You better bring meat back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, if we have to hit it with the truck, I will sacrifice a quarter panel to feed my family. So I get to go to on that Western hunt.
Well, my wife grew up in a family that they didn't hunt. Like, they're not outdoorsmen. Absolutely wonderful people. I love my in-laws, which I feel so lucky being able to say that. But I truly do. I love my in-laws. Her brothers are some of my best friends.
Yeah.
But her dad, God rest his soul, when he was alive, he wasn't a hunter. Like, nobody in her family are outdoorsmen. So, like, when she met me and we started dating, she was like, I'm not sure how I feel about game meat. You know?
Yeah.
And then, like, I shot that bear, and I'd come home from work, and she'd have it in the frying pan or on the grill or whatever, And she's an excellent cook, right? Because her mother passed when she was really young, so like she had to learn how to cook for her family when she was a pretty young girl, and she's just a fantastic cook, and she really enjoys it. And that's actually something we both enjoy doing together because I enjoy cooking too. But so I'd come home and she'd be like cooking up bear meat, and I was like, that's when I realized I was like, I got to her. I changed her. She kind of likes it. She kind of digs it. And
does she eat it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She said that bear was some of the best game meat she's ever had. And, we enjoy eating goose together. There's some things she won't eat, like small game, like squirrels and stuff like that. She won't do. But like deer meat, she's just fine. I mean, she'll even request it sometimes.
I can't tell you the last time that we bought Hamburg.
Yeah. That's
one time. Well, this was years ago. I called, and she bought hamburger, and I said, why did you buy that? Well, I was making tacos. Yeah. I said, well, we have venison downstairs. Well, I didn't want to waste the venison on tacos. I like where your headspace is at. That. I love it. Yeah. But use the venison. That gives
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate for a good many years. We have never run out.
Yeah.
We usually make it last from one season. Now it can get close. It can get close by the end of the season, but like last year, My son shot two deer, and I shot a not last 2024, 2 years ago. I shot a cow elk and a mule deer.
Oh yeah, it'd be hard to run through all that.
Yeah, and then my son shot two. So
yeah, that's hard. Yeah.
So yeah, I got two awesome kids.
And they both hunt.
One's 21, and the other one's 13 now. She'll be 13 this spring. Yeah, she's 12 right now. No, my daughter Kendra does not hunt.
Okay.
But she goes hunting with me.
Yeah.
So she does like going out in archery season with me. I usually give her the rangefinder. We know every distance, every tree around, which is fantastic.
Right.
But I think it's important. Like, you know, she's not into it. So I plan on like a couple hours sit. You know, we usually go to my shed on stilts.
Yep.
We don't get in a double stand or anything like that because, you know, sometimes she likes to sit on the floor and play on my phone or something. And you know what? If that keeps her in the outdoor with me, if that keeps that connection, you know, I hear, you know, maybe we cover this at some point, but I hear, you know, people say, well, I don't let my kids have electronics in the tree stand.
Yeah.
If it keeps them with you, then do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, you know, and like, my daughter and I, she has her phone now, right? She's 13. She has her own phone, but we'll sit, we have a blind up on stilts, right? Like with little sliding windows and stuff. And we'll sit there and we'll both look at our phone here and there, but for the most part, we're talking, we're joking. And like our thing, if I go out hunting for myself and take a bottle of water, I'm like a purist and that's it. I don't bring snacks. I don't bring any of that. Like I just bring a bottle of water. That's it. Like if I go hunting with Abigail, there it is again. She'll be mad.
Yeah.
She likes being called Abby, so I'm just gonna keep calling her Abigail.
Yeah.
But if I go out with Abigail, you know, it's like we have all the snacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
backpack.
literally a backpack
Yeah.
full of snacks. And I have a really strict diet that I stick to, not for any reason other than I feel better when I eat clean or, you know, so anyways, it goes out the window in hunting season. I eat like absolute garbage now because of my daughter, you know. But then like my son Jack, keep him out in the woods at 9. He doesn't have a phone obviously, and I don't let him take his tablet out anymore. But like I will we play what's the dumbest Block Blast.
Oh yeah.
Like we'll play Block Blast. Like I'll play around while he's looking for deer, you know,
Yeah.
and we'll see what my score is. I'll hand it to him,
Yeah.
and he'll play around while I'm looking for deer. We just do that back and forth, but it's so much fun.
Oh,
you know?
That's wrong.
And it keeps them out in the woods at 9, right? At 8 and 9
Right.
years old,
Yeah.
they were out there in the woods with me, and that's what I had to do to get them out there. So, and if you don't need to use electronics to get your kid out in the woods, good on you. That's great. But if you do, it's okay.
But
you know, I mean, they're here to stay is the thing. Like
it's like social media.
It's like social media. It's not going away.
Right.
So that's the way I look at it. You know.
Yeah. What has really been like my hunting has been up and down over the years, and you know even to a fact fishing. Like my grandpa and I used to hit the first day of trout season every year for. I mean, I came home from college to go to the first day of trout season with him. That's like, and it was around my birthday, so I doubled down, get some cake, get a present, and do a little trout fishing. But you know, so it kind of weaned off there for a while. You know, when I started when my wife and I started dating, and then you know got married, and I really got way involved in the fire department and, you know, working my way up through the line officer positions and chief and everything. And I cut back because I felt like, you know, my dedication was to the position I had at that time. So I kind of weaned back a little bit. But my son is bringing me back around now. He's the one. And now you said he's 20? He's 21. No, he's 22 now. He just had a birthday last month. I had no idea
your son was that old.
Yeah, he's 22. So but this year, you want to talk about a turning point. So kids go through and they're like, you know, it's all about the harvest and, you know, they're you know, all this stuff. But he matured like this year. He was planting his own food plots and he's running the cameras all around. And, you know, I really got into like cell cameras this year. So I bought a pile of them and he's just taking them everywhere. And so he had a couple like target bucks and they were nice bucks, but it was all about like that discipline. He was teaching himself discipline.
I love seeing that.
And that's where it was just like so cool this year that he's out there and, you know, he embraced the saddle hunting, and he fine-tuned his setup and everything. And he's asking, hey, can I get this pack for my birthday or whatever? And because I think this fits in it. And we got him a different saddle or a different platform for Christmas. And just
I love that.
Just
so he really stepped into it this year.
Yes, and he was just so the phone. Obviously at 22, we're not hunting together as much. We got out a couple times with him being in college. Now he goes to Penn State Du Bois. Avid baseball player, so he's playing ball, in the fall. So, he's
for the campus.
Yeah, Penn State
Really?
Du Bois.
Wow.
Yeah, just doing a fantastic season this spring too.
Yeah.
But,
which let me jump in. My daughter, for the first time, did a competitive sport this year, and I'd never been a competitive sport parent, right? I mean, my son plays soccer, but he's 8 and 9, so it's really not competitive.
Yeah.
But she got on the volleyball team. And so I'm excited for you hearing that your son does, because I mean, watching your kid in a competitive sport is like, it's all in. I mean, you go through all the emotions. It's like it's incredible, and to know that he had a good season.
So
I'm excited for you. That's
my
great.
son has played. He wrestled, he played football, and he played baseball. So he's been a 3-sport athlete, and from the time he was 8 to the time he was in high school, he played all year round. Like we actually, one year, we were at States for Little League. We left Philly area at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, or 6 o'clock on a Sunday, and Monday night he started football. Wow. Like that's like just roll run one into another. So I've been used to sports. So this only doing baseball, even though it is fall and spring, it's way different. Yeah. But he is, just the discipline he has with himself. He works out. He eats right.
Well, I bet that discipline played into him having all this discipline this archery.
It absolutely did. Yeah, you can just see, their kids are kind of wild and crazy. You're getting into that part. You're getting into that. Where it's like, and you try to guide them, but you also, they need to fail. They need to screw up.
Yep. And that's a tough thing to do as a parent.
The hardest thing to do as a parent.
Watch your kid fail, but remind yourself that they need this.
It's the learning process.
They need that learning process. Yeah. That's the toughest thing for me.
And that's and that happens in real life. Your everyday, your schoolwork, but it happens in hunting too.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's beautiful. Like he would call me on the way back. Hey, I saw a nice buck. It was 100 yards away. He goes, come around me, and he's giving me the play-by-play. He's like, I think it winded me or whatever. All right, so what are you doing? Oh man, I'm moving this way and out, and he's just constantly like on that change, and he was constantly scouting even during the season. He's finding new places, and and he did not connect in archery season. Yeah. I mean, he hunted a lot. But the other good thing is what made me feel like he was. Like he had finally come full circle. He wasn't disappointed at all.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. By the end of the season, he was like, "Well, time to take the rifle out." Yeah. And I'm like, before he was just the last couple of years, he was so down when he didn't fill all of his tags in archery season. I'm like, he'll learn. You can't teach him that it's not all about filling tags. They got to learn that himself. Yeah. And he was okay. Like so, opening morning, and it was probably the first opening morning in I don't know. Forever, even during the when the youth hunts, I think he still hung out with me on opening mornings or whatever. He was still in the stand with me. This was the first time he went with some buddies, and we went to totally different places. Okay, so cool. Last year he actually was tagged out, so he came with me opening morning, just just to come with me. Yeah. But we went 2 different places, and a little bit. His buddy scored like right at first light, so. He helped him get the deer out and everything like that, and then they hooked up with another couple guys, and they were doing some drives.
So that's got to be neat to see him kind of branching out onto his own as a hunter with his own buddies, and kind of doing what we've been doing now for decades, which is learning our particular hunting style.
It's bittersweet.
Because at this point, he's been learning your hunting style. And now
he's tweaking it.
He's learning his own.
Yeah.
I get it. It's bittersweet because you lost your best hunting buddy.
Yeah.
But you didn't really lose him.
I didn't lose him.
He just evolved.
Yeah. So that's the bittersweet part of it is, but what's crazy now is like, I'm asking him for advice because he's putting more time and effort in than I am.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to grow a business.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do like my everyday consulting work and stuff like that.
Volunteering.
I do my volunteering.
Yeah.
And I'm calling him, hey, it looks like I'm going to get out on Thursday. The weather's going to be good. Your sister has a ride home from school. Like, what do you think? What's the best play?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a cold front coming in. We've been seeing deer here. Or, you know, he'll send me, hey, here's a pin, you know. I like this spot. Why don't you take the climber back here? You know, so it's cool that I am getting, you know, he's evolving. He really is. But it also is like, oh man, you know, I feel bad that I'm not hunting with him all the time, but that's what I did to my dad. That's what I did to my grandpa.
That's right.
You know, I know where that it's you don't know what they feel until you feel it.
Yep.
And it makes me so proud. And you know, him and a couple of buddies were doing a drive on the first day. Later in the morning, bam, smacks a decent buck. You know, they drove it to him, and you know, and what I love is I'm still his first phone call.
Yeah,
that's the important part right there to me. He can hunt with whoever he wants to. I'm still his first phone call, and he goes, hey, guess what? Yeah, I'm walking up to it. It was a nice one, and you know,
I love that phone call. You always know when it's a big buck phone call, don't you?
Yeah.
Like my brother Andy, the one year called me. And, like, I knew he was driving out to this one property that was, like, a 30-minute drive. Well, and he calls me, like, 20 minutes after leaving my house. And I'm like, there's no way he made it out there yet.
Right.
Well, he changed ideas, and he hunted the game lands right behind my house, you know. And I knew right away, like, he called me and answered and said, hey, what's going on? You know, what's up, buddy? And all I hear is that, and the heavy breathing. And I'm like, you just got one, didn't you? Like, you just know, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love it when I'm in a tree stand and I connect on a deer, you know, because I'm going to text everybody and I'm like,
yeah.
I can't even send a text message, you know. I called Andy the one year and I was like, you got a buck. Just hit this one. It was this deer. It was this deer. Yeah. This is such a cool story. I fell out of the tree stand this morning, right? And I was on a lifeline, jarred the hell out of myself. Didn't know how bad it was. This deer comes down, works scrape, and I go to draw. And I was like, I get to hear, and my neck is like burning pain from jarring me when I fell, you know? And so I did the whole like, and I drew back, you know, and he saw me, of course.
Yeah.
And so he goes to run and I stop him, but there's a branch in the way. I mean, there's an entire tree in the way covering his vitals. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, and so I'm holding it forever, you know, and whatever. So I get the deer, then I call my brother. I try to text him and I'm like, we can't text. So I'm just like, Andy, call, you know, and he answers, and I'm like, I just got one, you know, good buck, he's curly, and then I drop my phone, and it like falls, and it hits the tree, and it gets down to the ground, and like, I'm not ready, I'm in no condition to climb out of a tree, you know, and then I'm like, I have to, because Andy thinks I just fell out of the tree.
Right, yeah. He heard the thud.
He probably thinks I am dead.
Did he know you fell out of the one earlier that day? Did you tell? Okay.
No, nobody knew that until later that day.
That's the best part.
Even worse.
He's like, did you fall out of the tree? Yes, but not when you thought. Earlier.
It was earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I like climb down the tree and I get the phone. I call him back. I'm like, hey. And he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Just drop the phone.
You're all good. No, that's it's awesome that after the shot phone call, and all of a sudden it feels like it could be an 80-degree day. All of a sudden it feels like it's 0 degrees and you're wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah,
because you're just like, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly. But everybody has that reaction, and I think it's like this. It's like an adrenaline dump. And it's like, and it's fear. Even if you see the deer go down, but you're like, if you're a bow hunter, a lot of times you don't see them go down. But there's like that fear that even when you know it was a good hit, and you're like, what if?
Are we sure it's a good hit?
Like, what if? You know? Yeah. And then, but if you saw the deer go, like I saw this one go down, it's like that remorse.
Yeah.
You know, but excitement. And adrenaline, and there's like that fight and flight going on inside your body. It's just like it's all this going on, and it just comes out as like a seizure. Is it just like?
Is it worse for you watching a deer go down or not seeing it go down?
So that's such a hard question because you see him go down, and it's great because you know you got the deer, so you don't have that like that pit of your stomach.
Yeah, that you may have just wounded one.
Gnawing at you, right? But you don't get that euphoric high that you get when you're blood trailing an animal,
right? And
you find that belly, like you see that belly sticking up, or an antler or whatever.
Rack.
And like there's no better feeling than that. So like when I see a deer go down, and here's where I've evolved as a hunter, because at first it was always like I saw him go down, great, that's good, that's the best, that's the play I want,
Right.
But now I'm like, okay, great, but then I lose out on that experience, and so then I'm also like, if I kill a deer early in the season, I lose out on all that time in a tree stand, like it's kind of one and the same.
If you told me with 100% certainty that I would shoot a deer on the last day within the last hour, it would not stop me from hunting every opportunity up until then.
Yeah, agreed. I actually harvested a buck in archery season one year, right? And I did not have another buck tag, and I did not have a doe tag that year, okay? And I still hunted with no bow. I just took a camera out, but I still hunted so hard that I actually gave myself pneumonia that year. Because you could ask my wife, she was so mad at me. I was sick, but I kept going out and hunting because I was so enthralled with videoing these bucks, and it was the rut. And like, I wish I still had a bow and a tag, because like I had a phenomenal season, that rut season, of getting bucks. And like, usually I don't like to hunt the rut, which I know it's like blasphemous, right? I don't like hunting the rut. I really don't, because it's just chaos. Like, you can see a lot of mature bucks. They're on their feet, they're running, but that's it. They're running. So they're literally running. Like every deer you see is nose to the ground, and he's moving and he's hustling and shaking, and it's just chaos. Yeah. You see a lot of deer, so it's exciting. But like, if I had a bow tag that year still, I would have harvested some phenomenal bucks. I had multiple opportunities, but I just couldn't stop myself. I was so enthralled being out there and being around these beautiful animals. And it's like, I learned so much that season about calling and grunting deer in and rattling deer and using estrus bleeds, because really I pushed it because I didn't have a tag. Yeah. So I was able to push, because I'm like, well, if I blow it, I don't care. Right. I don't care. Well, but so I learned so much that season, but I couldn't stop going out, and I was sick. And John's like, "Baby, you should take it easy." And I'm like, "I should, but I'm not. But I'm not going to." Oh yeah. And I ended up getting pneumonia that year. She was so frustrated with me.
So it's funny, because I had a season this year that way, like turkey season. So I went out on the first morning. I was late getting out. Yeah. I went out within an hour. I shot one. Yeah. Great morning, I thought, this is awesome. I have 2 tags. Yeah. So, like, this is going to be a great year. Like, I usually only shoot one if I'm lucky. So, first morning, awesome, great. Just so happened the first week I had off that Friday. So, I was like, whatever, I'll go out, just see if I hear anything. 45 minutes in, shot my second one.
No kidding.
Yes. And it's the first one I've ever harvested on my own property.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So, I actually took it to his cousin. We got it mounted. Yeah. And in that whole span of time, I think maybe total in the field, 3.5, 4 hours. Yeah. I'm done 4 days into the season. On the 5th day, I'm done. Yeah. And I'm like, every day after that, I'm getting up. I'm watching turkeys in the field. I'm listening to them gobble. I'm roosting them. Why? I don't know.
Well, because I think with turkeys, I'm a terrible turkey hunter, right? But I love turkey hunting, and I don't necessarily love hunting. I love being around turkeys,
right? I like interacting with them.
I love interacting. Yeah, that's all it is. That's it. Because like with deer, you might grunt at one and have them come in. You might hear them grunt back, but like you really don't truly interact with deer, not like you do on the scale that you do with spring gobblers.
Yeah. I like the chess game, the constant moving, and like you got to play the shadows. Like it's where you set up, it's how they're gonna approach. Like there's so many dynamics to it that are just I don't think anybody, it takes years to become a really good turkey hunter. I'm nowhere near that level, but and it's even deer hunting. Right? Archery hunting this year. I went out twice. We went out west. I came back October 1st, shot my buck. Yeah. And I had no intentions on going out. It was probably in the 60s that day.
November 1st.
Yeah. or November 1st. Yeah. November 1st. It was probably in the 60s.
I don't want everybody to think you shot it before the season.
I was trying to think when, November 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that clarification.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, because we came back
on that one yet.
We came back the day before Halloween.
Yeah, and we came back
I took
the
Halloween
30th.
off.
Yeah,
we were with family on Halloween night, and then the next morning I went out and shot one.
Yeah,
and I had no intentions on going out. My brother-in-law literally texted me and said the bucks are moving.
Yeah,
I went out and I sat in the tree stand in which he told me to sit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like he's real big on thermals and all this stuff, and it's like Joe. It's kind of like the dynamic of Joe and his son. Like my brother-in-law, he's really into that space where like they're about thermals. They're about where you're gonna set up. You know, as the temperature drops, your thermals are gonna do this, and running ridge lines and food, and all that stuff comes into play. And to hear that, and then he kind of
fascinating.
Oh my gosh, we took a walk, and he's like, "That's the tree there." Like he's like, "I'm telling you, you sit in that, you're gonna shoot a buck."
Yeah. And you did.
I literally went out. I sat there for 3 hours. He texted me 2 hours into the hunt. He texted Joe and I and said, "Buck down."
Yeah.
45 minutes later, I shot my buck.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I called him, and he's like, "Hey, well, I'm packing out still." He was in Game Lands 2.5 miles in, packing it out with a buddy, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" or something. And I said, "I shot a monster."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Really?" I have no idea. You know what I mean? Because I was like, it was big. I don't know. And I mean, granted, that's all that mattered to me. And it was probably 120 some inch deer.
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy with it.
Hell yeah.
And and really what made it great is he shot one. We're probably 10 miles apart where we shot them.
Well, and here's the thing.
I mean,
when you're talking about classifying a buck, right? And like, it's a big buck, it's a shooter buck, it's a monster buck, it's whatever, right? It's your classification, right? So like, people get into this whole there's this social media clip I see around where these guys are doing a podcast, and I don't know who they are, so don't get mad at me if you see this. But they're like, there are no big bucks anymore because you can't find 180-inch deer, and I saw that and I was like. Yeah. So now to be a big buck, you have to be 180 inches.
Yeah.
Like we have this unrealistic, blown out expectation, and it really doesn't matter. Maybe that is what a big buck is to them. That is a big shooter buck to me, right? That was so excited I couldn't talk to my brother when I called.
Yeah.
Right. But that's my hunt. That's my tag. Right.
And that's not a fenced in deer.
Right.
That's a wild.
It's a wild deer. Right. And the way I judge a deer, if it's a shooter buck for me, is when I see it, do I feel like I'm gonna have a stroke?
Yeah.
And if I do,
right,
then it's a shooter buck for me. And it was big. Like if it's a big and I guess good for me that I get excited over antlers. Like I see a 90-inch 8-point and I'm like falling apart at the seams. Oh, yeah. And great for me. I get excited easily. Yeah. And some guys might not, but it's like the classification of a big buck is your classification. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way I feel.
When you see these kids nowadays and they're shooting 200-inch bucks, and it's like, I remember whenever I was 12, I hammered a spike on opening morning. Yeah, buddy. And you would have thought I would have just won the lottery.
Pennsylvania 11-point, baby.
You would have thought I just hit the lottery, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm screaming, Yeah. They're like, "Did you get him?" You bet. I'm down there screaming, yeah,
fist pumping.
I mean, everybody's pumped, you know?
I mean, I think the takeaway from that is we were all in a place when we started hunting, there weren't antler restrictions.
Right.
And I lost that somewhere along the way with my son because he's like, "Well, what's the biggest buck you ever shot?" And I said, "Buddy, you've shot bigger bucks than I have."
Yeah.
Because when I started hunting, my first buck was a 3-point.
So was mine.
Yeah. And you didn't pass up an antler back then.
No. Yeah.
If you wanted a buck, you shot what was legal.
My first buck was a 3-point, and when we brought it off the mountain, my uncles and my grandpa were like high-fiving and pumping.
Yeah.
And the next year when I was 14, I shot a 6-point, And it was like the talk of Warren.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that was a big buck.
Yeah. When you were 13, a 6-point was like, this right here was like when we were kids was unheard of.
Right.
Oh my God.
And now that's a basket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Basket,
somebody's like, "Oh yeah, that's good." And I'm guilty of it. I say, "Yeah, that's a typical 8-point nowadays."
Yeah.
It
is.
This was unheard of. People drove to see,
and that's why I still fall apart when I see bucks like this. I think to your point, because I'm used to seeing
Yeah.
Well, if you could tell that it looked like it had 4 ears, and you were like, whoa.
I was 13 and I shot a 9-point.
Whoa.
Now, keep in mind, it was...
We're not worthy.
Jeez.
You're off.
Yeah.
I'm being serious. Like, this thing had one side and the other side, just the base was there and had 3 little weird things sticking up. I mean, it was probably this, but it had 9 points.
Yeah.
You would have thought, I was the same as you. You would have thought I shot the Tri-County monster.
Yeah.
Because somebody's like, it had 9 points. I'm like, yeah,
it did.
Yes, it did. You can hang a ring on them, that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
You can hang a ring on that.
Oh man.
Well, I'll tell you what we should hang a ring on.
This episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't do all of our content in the first episode.
So that's it. So that's how we got here.
That's
right?
how
we got here. It's how we got to the name. This is who we are as hunters and
Do you want to tell them what's going to be in episode 2? A brief little sneak peek, I guess, on what's coming up.
Episode 2. I don't know when we're going to record it, but we're going to get to it here at some point. But episode 2.
Hopefully, and then we'd like to keep them releasing every couple weeks.
Yeah, we'd love to. Yeah. So episode 2 is going to be about. We're calling it "Don't Wash That Hat," and it's going to be about those hunting traditions we all have, those superstitions and those rituals that we as hunters and fishermen kind of hold near and dear to our heart. Like, I'm not a superstitious person, right? But like I follow all these like superstitions in the outdoors, and I have a reason why I think that's so prevalent in the outdoors, and I want to talk about that and talk about what some of my traditions and things are, because I think family traditions are so big in the outdoors, and that's so important and are so powerful. So we're gonna kind of dive into that for episode 2, but let's wrap this up, and thanks for being there. And again, and I really mean it, please, if you have a connection, if you have a story that you want to tell, you want to share, please reach out to us, because we'd love to have you on the show. We plan on doing all sorts of episodes here, and hopefully we can just keep spinning out content for years to come, but we need your help. So if you've got interesting stories and you think you can keep up with me and Joe and Jesse's mouths, not so much Jesse, me and Joe, and come on the show, and feel free to tell me and Joe to
We're going to have to give Jesse some caffeine.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be more assertive.
I enjoy listening to some of these stories.
Now we know. He's the yin of our yang.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
bring you guys down.
It's
I calm you guys down.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
All right.
See you next time.
See
you guys.